Directed by Peter Jackson, The Hobbit, The Desolation of Smaug sees Martin Freeman's Bilbo Baggins come face to face with the tyrannical dragon Smaug, voiced by fellow Sherlock star Benedict Cumberbatch. Hello, my name's Rowan Taylor, and this is my review of The Hobbit, The Desolation of Smaug. So, a little recap for those who perhaps haven't watched the first film or just need a little reminder. So, Bilbo Baggins, Gandalf the Grey, Thorin Oakenshield, and his company of dwarves continue their journey to Erebor, the Lonely Mountain. Hunted by a pack of orcs commanded by the barbarous Azog, Bilbo and his dwarf friends have no choice but to pass through Mirkwood, a dense, dark forest where even the most valiant warriors and wise wizards can become lost to darkness. Meanwhile, Gandalf has left the company to investigate the possible return of Sauron. This second instalment of Peter Jackson's Hobbit trilogy was for me not just a pleasure, but a relief. Unlike the first movie in this epic saga, I actually got the Peter Jackson / Middle-earth experience that I'm sure many of us were longing for. After a rather shaky start with an unexpected journey, Peter Jackson's Hobbit trilogy finally finds its footing in this much more tenacious and undeviating second chapter. First things first, the film runs at a much faster rate, upping the suspense in a way this sort of walk and talk film often fails to. Just about everything in this film feels incredibly fluid. The battles, the characters, the visual effects, the tone and the energy. One thing that really won me round about this film was Peter Jackson's use of aerial shots, and when tied in with epic music from composer and conductor Howard Shore, I got a real sense of the vast world of Middle-earth, reminiscent of the Lord of the Rings trilogy. Aside from the camera work and lighting, I must refer to the immense amount of detail in characters, locations and costumes. Seeing as most films now obsess over CGI, it's refreshing to see a film that focuses greatly on detail. Take Bjorn's house for example. No CGI has been used at all to create this house. Yeah, that's right, the entire set, inside and out, was built using real materials by real builders, and considering that no CGI has been used, the amount of detail is magnificent. In fact, the majority of the film was filmed in real-life locations around New Zealand. One major element of this film that Tolkien fans were a little wary of was the dragon Smaug. But boy, did Peter Jackson pull it off. He managed to recreate the archetypal dragon that everyone was waiting to see and everyone had expectations of without jeopardizing the movie. With voice acting from Benedict Cumberbatch, a serpent-like design, it is clear that Peter Jackson has tried to maintain Tolkien's visualization when creating Smaug. Although I was incredibly impressed with this near masterpiece, there are some elements of this film that I have to express that did nag me a little bit. First of all, the lighting. It seems as though Peter Jackson has gone a little bit crazy when it comes to the background lighting. To me, it seems the lighting in this film is a bit sickly and bright. This isn't the case throughout the whole film, just in a few scenes. Considering Lord of the Rings is around 10 years older, the lighting is much more satisfying and realistic, in my opinion. Secondly, I can't help but notice that this movie's storyline deviates slightly from the book. An example of this deviation is Lake Town. In the book, Lake Town only accounts for around about a dozen pages, whereas in the movie it seems to be featured a lot more, adding new characters and new locations. It may not seem tragic, but does nag me a little. Now, in conclusion, as a movie experience, Peter Jackson has once again delivered a fantastic, incredibly detailed, enthralling and downright entertaining adventure in Middle-earth with thorough characters, sharp visuals and an epic storyline. Thank you for listening. I've been Rowan Taylor.